Hello everyone and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts weekly crypto and stocks TA charts video. Today is Friday, August 9th, 2024, just about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. This is a swing trading, position trading, and investing YouTube channel and charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. I'm on YouTube, X, and TradingView. Welcome everybody. Let's start off with the news for crypto. The crypto market volatility this past week was greatly affected by factors such as the yen carry trade, Bank of Japan raising their interest rates, USA tech market stock sell-off, earnings season volatility, bearish technical chart setups, and fear, uncertainty, doubt around the world. Here on this crypto total market cap chart on the daily chart, price is in a downtrend consolidation still, long-term, 6 months, 7 months. This last week, we had great volatility. The price rejected down from resistance, and I shorted this entire red leg down in the crypto market. It's a great trade. Found support off 1.7 trillion and bounced back up into the mean reversion, back to where? Right below the 200-day exponential moving average, which is about 2.1 trillion. That was a large move. Top to bottom, 25%. That is swing trading right there. That is swing trading. Now, where are we going from here? The week is not quite over yet. I do like we have this hammer on the weekly chart. That just shows that we have buyers down there, hodlers, long-term investors who believe that Bitcoin is going up higher in the next 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. That's great that we have that weekly hammer. The month of August is still ongoing. The daily chart, we had a bit of a higher low. The 4-hour chart, we're actually starting the uptrend, and it's trying to hit the 4-hour 200 EMA, which is about 2.2 trillion. I know I'm saying a lot of numbers, so I'll just mark it on the chart. We're basically trying to hit this X on this chart. You can see that the shorts got squeezed out once we broke out above 1.971 trillion. High, low, higher, high, higher, low. Now, what remains to be seen for next week is will we continue this higher high after having some pullback in the shorter term charts? There's room to run up, to rally here, because on the RSI, at least for technicals, I'm seeing a little bit of momentum on the hourly. This RSI is only about 55. It's not anywhere near in the super overbought range. I consider about 80 to 90 on a 1 hour, 4 hour, or 15-minute chart. And daily charts just getting stuck in the middle. So the momentum is starting. Now, the question is, will we reject or not the price back down to the downside? That's all I'm watching for, because sometimes when we get these pullbacks down, it just pulls back into support and goes higher. So I'm watching for that. So the support I'm watching, 2.0 trillion. And if we have a breakout above 2.1, that's only 2 levels I need to play. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a very, very similar analysis. We just had that sell-off. We had a double top, so I shorted the market all the way down and then took my profit on that short. Now, still in a consolidation downtrend. And if we connect the lines here, we're getting stuck in that middle half heart line. I do like that we had support on this double bottom, basically the hammer candle, double bottom, just above 55,000. We pierced to 62,000, very good, and we're consolidating. So we need to hold 59, we need to hold $59,000 Bitcoin. If we go below there, we're gonna have some panic selling on that. So scenario 1 for me is double bottom, bullish. Scenario 2 is double bottom but consolidation. And then scenario 3 is rejection, like maybe a double top down. So the only good thing I could say is we at least broke out of this trend line, this yellow trend line. So we could back test the 57,000 range before trying to bounce higher. That has happened. We had that 2 times in the past, 3 times. Now it's the big breakout. Are we going to get a pullback and then a retest, rally on top? I like the weekly hammer. 4-hour testing the uptrend, just bounce up that support, 59.5. Like I said, the 15-minute hour is plenty of room to run. Let's go faster. Ethereum. Now, Ethereum was a little easier. I had my best short of the year on Ethereum. You can see it on the red right here. This is why I shorted this entire part down. And you can see once we had the support lines breaking down, that was my short entry. So another way to play it, because some people out there I can already anticipate are thinking, how could anybody have known that the market's going to crash? Well, using technical analysis, we can forecast it. There's a greater than 50% chance, in my opinion, that we were going to crash. So then I took the short. How did I do it? Let's go into trade, review, and education. First, understand what is the price. Is the price going up? Is the price going down trending? Is it uptrending, downtrending, or consolidating, just going sideways for short term? The long-term view for this whole year is we're downtrending in Ethereum. You can see the angle is angling down. So lower low, lower high. There's a higher low, lower high. So it's tightening. Draw another set of resistance lines. Now you can see what happened. We were inside of this symmetrical triangle in the past 1 month. We also had a head and shoulders on the top here. That's a bearish signal right here in this blue circle. Head and shoulders. And then what else do we have? A higher low, or excuse me, a lower high rejection. Basically rejection of the resistance. Can't even talk because the setup was so good. It was a little confusing in there because we almost had upside down head and shoulders, which could have been bullish. But then since we topped out and we had the head and shoulders and then a lower high in the price, it's time to short. And then the second big short happened once we lost support at 2,800. You could see it. There was that one day of maybe it's going to bounce back. And then no, we had the Japan Bank of Japan interest rate. And then we crashed. Now, how do I know maybe where it's going to go down? That's the hard part when you short is when you have capitulation crash is how low is it going to go? Well, sometimes I could use the ATR. I'm using special indicator in the bottom right or open ATR in the indicators, add it on the bottom. So let's say before the crash, maybe right at before Bank of Japan, let's just say July 29, ATR was about $142, which at that time was about 5%. I'm around it. So 5 to 10%, there would have been a move. So we ended up going 34% down. So 600% higher than ATR, one ATR. We went 6 ATR. Now, sometimes also, if there's this hidden support level down here, like on a weekly or something, where do we go? We went down to 200 EMA weekly support. Crash way below weekly Bollinger Band, way below weekly Keltner channel. And then we got oversold on the daily. So that's 3 or 4, I don't want to confuse people, but there's basically 3 or 4 indicators, technical signals where we were able to forecast maybe that's the bottom. We had huge volume as well. And then we had a large hammer candle. So buyers, short squeeze as well down here. And then we had one more short attempt and then they got squeezed out. So that's how I played that trade. Shorted from here all the way down to here. I had a stop loss and then took that trade. That was wonderful. Now, where are we going here from Ethereum? You could see the larger support line in yellow, we're stuck below that right now. So the 2 scenarios I'm looking for is a little retest back down to 2,400 or maybe 2,300, maybe double bottom or establish a higher low and try and make that higher high target. If that's bullish case, 2,900 is my target. The support, we have to hold above 2,500 basically. These are the 2 levels I'm playing. If we crash back down to 2,100, something very bad has to happen. So watch out just for the support holding and trying to pierce back up into that. Okay, wrapping up crypto. Many of these are similar. Binance Coin, same thing. Solana, Ripple had a flash crash and then a retest back up. Dogecoin is simple, very similar. But on Dogecoin and SHIB, basically I'm seeing a bullish momentum setup. Now, the problem is we have a longer term death cross, but then this could continue up to at least maybe test the 12-cent range because we have this double bottom on the RSI. This is the bullish momentum I'm talking about. It's subtle, but it's there. So it's probably going to take maybe a month for this thing to get up there. But it could be wrong too if anything bad happens in the bearish setup. If we have bad news, I could see this projecting straight below those 12 EMAs back down. So that's why sometimes it's prudent, unless I'm at an extreme, for example, really low support. I'm circling them for education. Really low support. That's the best spot to buy. Buying right here in the middle is like a 50-50 or maybe a 55% chance bullish just because we're lower on the RSI. But, somebody could get stopped out their positions right here, right? Let's watch out for that. Cardano, they're all very similar. They're all in downtrends, downtrend consolidation, but we found support. Okay, maybe except for Link. But Link, this head and shoulders, we lost that 200 EMA, so now this is at risk. Just watch out for that on crypto. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you for watching the crypto segment. If you liked this or learned something, go ahead, click the like button, click subscribe, share the video. Would appreciate it. Let's go to stocks. Stocks. Today's August 9th, Friday, 2024. Let's get into what's happening next week. So looking ahead, next week's stock earnings releases, we have Home Depot. It's retail week. This is not all the companies. I'm just doing an abbreviated list. Hut Mining, On Semiconductor, New Holdings, Cisco, Walmart, Alibaba, Tapestry, Ross. More companies. Ross is a clothing store. Tapestry is luxury clothing. It's going to be interesting to see how those two play out just for consumer spending. Now, economic data, it's big for the inflation data. PPI, CPI, retail sales, unemployment claims, some other smaller data, manufacturing index, building permits, consumer sentiment, inflation expectations. This is going to matter. Now, the word on the internet is, and the FOMC, if we continue to see good inflation data, then we might get a September interest rate cut. Depends on the data. Current events and news. Microsoft and Palantir partnered to deliver AI services and networks for USA national security. Apple announced a new Mac Mini, going to be small, apparently, and new M4 chips for the iMac and MacBook Pro. Google lost their first antitrust lawsuit recently against federal prosecutors regarding search advertising monopoly, and there's going to be another lawsuit in September. Let's go faster. Now, what is the bearish technical setup that I was talking about, how we could foresee that we're going to have a crash in the markets? First thing, on a weekly chart, bearish momentum. If you know what that is, on the oscillators on the RSI, it was building for 4 months, 3 months. Okay, this last leg, right? This is the bearish momentum I'm talking about. Then we broke below this blue trend line and we crashed, and then we had a oversold bounce. That's completely normal. We crash where? Lower low, lower high, lower low, all the way down to about the 200 EMA, hit all my targets on the way down and the way up. Perfect. Now, the question is for S&P 500 is this just a dip or is this the top of the market? Or is this a consolidation, right? Because if it's just a dip, what do I need to see? I need to see higher lows and higher highs, uptrend reversal. Just like April, May price action. Except this time we almost hit the 200 EMA, so it's a little different this time. Or another way to look at it, draw one trend line, maybe two. And once we get the break above both of those and we hold the support like this, then we'll know we're in an uptrend. Because we could easily get one more leg down, even though we have this double bottom. We could get one more leg down to about 506. That's the bearish case scenario. So it's going to take several weeks for the market to prove itself. Which way are we going? We're going up? Are we going sideways? Or are we going down? I need to see a little bit more information as a long-term investor. So the only good thing is we barely tapped that RSI level. That's why the robots bought that. 4 hours still depth cross. You see that on this EMA 50 yellow and red. So we had the support level and it's higher high, higher low. or rejection. We have some more data as well. 15 minutes up cross, 1 hour is not up cross yet, but you can see we're holding this little channel. It's towards the top of that channel, so I can imagine bears will try to push it down one time, and then bulls are waiting to buy at support. That support zone is about 523. The weekly, there's a strong green candle. Okay, so let's see if we get some continuation off of that. QQQ. Again, how could we have forecasted this crash? Even if I didn't know anything about what was going on in Japan and the Japanese yen, because I wasn't really focusing on that. I still got out of the market. I closed all my swing trades and went short. So how did I know how to do that? Nasdaq charts were the key. We'll draw one support line. Let's erase everything. One support line. Turn off all the indicators. This is how I do my analysis. One trend line on the bottom side. Then a resistance trend line on the top side. We make it tight if we want. There we go. Now it's uptrending. It was uptrending for 3 months. And then what was the big problem? The big signal was on middle of July, we lost the support line. Just on this one strategy alone, many people went short. This is right when tech earnings season started. Finance earnings to tech earnings. We never lost this trend line for 3 months. And all of a sudden we lost it. So then it's going to cascade down. Then to make things even worse, it turned into a head and shoulders, which is a even more bearish pattern. We break the neckline and it even retested the neckline. Another short down. So this was aggressive play up here. This was the more conservative play down here. And what I was saying last week is don't short the bottom because we're gonna get liquidated. Traders are gonna get liquidated, squeezed out of there. So for a short, just have to really try to get in on good setup areas. Now that that's over, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the break of the next trend line to the upside or downside. You see this, the blue. So this yellow one is over now. I'm looking at the blue line, the next trend line. Okay, I could draw something like that. A descending wedge pattern. Sometimes we have breakouts. So what can it do? Breakout, retest, about 445, try to get this higher high, and then it turns into uptrend dip by number 2. However, if we reject back down to 433 zone, or even lower, 426, 414, that's probably where I want to buy the next long if we crash. Let's confirm that with Bollinger Bands. Yes, that would be below the zone of the second deviation. We could also use ATR, which on this one last day is $11.13. So what is one ATR? Average true range. 1113 is approximately 2.5%. I'm going to round up to 3%. So my up target is 464, 65. My down target is 437, 64. To make things easier visually, this blue X to this blue X, that's all I need to think about in the market in the short term. No need to panic. No need to panic. We bounced off that 200 EMA. We have to understand if you understand what a moving average is, it's the average price over a set amount of days. We hit the 200 EMA. That's like last year's average price. We haven't hit the 200 EMA since October 2023, which sparked the next huge uptrend rally. Okay, so this could either be the start of the next uptrend rally, or I need to see huge rejection down. For example, something like 2022 action, where we lose the 200 EMA and then we get rejected down from that. That has not happened yet. So it's looking a little bit closer to October, November 2023, which was actually the start of the next uptrend rally. Now, what could make that wrong is, however, we did have overbought range. We're bouncing off that yellow EMA 50 line. The long-term target on QQQ, if this was a huge cup and handle back here 1 or 2 years ago, we're supposed to go 40% from that breakout. 40% is way up here at 550. So this could be the spot of value that's going to launch us to 550 if I'm a bull. if I'm a long-term bear, we have to understand this has to lower high and then reject. It's going to take months for that to happen. So for now, it looks like a little bit more bullish bounce. Okay. I'm going to wrap up the video. I'm going to go very fast for the last couple. Dow Jones. Daily support zone. Bounce. See if that's going to get up to 398 or 404. Support at 380. IWM. This is a perfect short. I shorted exactly top to bottom. It was wonderful. I had to wait a long time for that to happen, but now riding the support level. Used the trailing stop loss and caught that gap down on that last day. It's beautiful. Now we're bouncing off the 200 EMA, and it's going to be sometimes the shorts like to reject it one more time. So 209.50, this X is still very important to see, are we going to get rejected down or bounce back up? US dollar, even the dollar is everything sell off as well. We're stuck below that. You can see there is a problem here on the US dollar because lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high rejection. What does that mean? Sell, sell, sell. And it's not until the big epic capitulation at the end that we get the death cross. So we crashed down to support level of 102.75. See if we're going to get that bounce. Now, like I said, bears sometimes like to come in and then try to push it down one more time. So watch out for that. US oil bounced off a support trend line zone. Beautiful. Almost hit my 70.75 mark, but it's bouncing back up to 76.56. Again, it reversed, and I'm looking for a higher low into the next entry. Natural gas. UNG was one of the best plays of the summer. I mean, this was 25 to 50% upside and downside opportunity, except I had to wait a very long time. I had to wait 6 months for that entry. And we're waiting 3 months. Now, for natural gas, I'm waiting to see, is this going to turn into an uptrend reversal or not? Because these upside down shoulders, potential or double bottom, is starting to form. Hit oversold momentum on the MACD. Good. Weekly potential morning star. 4 hours starting its uptrend attack. So we'll see. Charts don't always work, so I'm not going to really push into that one too much. Gold seeking higher high. Bounce off support. It's tightening, however. Gold, even though this looks tightening in that wedge. Silver, we had a head and shoulders or double top or a lower high. There's 3 setups there, but we're holding the 200 EMA. This is good. See if we can get a bounce up to 25.70, bounce off 24.23. Again, this looks very similar to SPY and everything. Copper, I actually got stopped out a very small position on copper, which is okay. For me, I was really trying to play the MACD bounce, but it's still in progress. It's going to be a lot slower than I anticipated because we have this bullish momentum that's building. We have the intermediate bullish momentum it's building. So it could take about 2 to 4 weeks, I would say, if I might play options on this one. But we're going to see, or I could just do a regular long. But the target for mine is $26 and $27. It just needs to stop dropping. It needs to establish a higher low and realize that the shorts need to realize that they might get squeezed out of copper unless there's some global macro problem. And higher low needs to hold above 24.83 area. Okay, Microsoft, lightning round, approaching support level, 200 EMA bounce. So see if that can recover or not, back up to 421 over time. Nvidia as well. Nvidia is a little trickier because it's so volatile. If we use a Fibonacci from beginning of 2024, let's erase everything. Beginning of 2024 until now. There we go. We can see that we're getting stuck under the 382. We bounced out that 50% to 382. So there's some downtrending pressure still on Nvidia. It hasn't really proved itself. Earnings is upcoming. We're not done with earnings, everybody. August 28th. Okay. So this whole empty circle needs to be proven that Nvidia is going to bounce and hold off of the 93 and the $100 level. I need to see a higher low and let this thing move, the price get out of there. Apple as well. This is very interesting. There is a head and shoulders. Easy short. I didn't short this one, but it was easy. I highlighted it last time. Play those two levels, gap down. The volatility back up was unexpected, a little fast, but hit this X target. Wow, somebody's doing it right out there. All right, thank you. Now it's below that gap, and so I'm going to watch out for maybe a possible pullback if it happens down to 210, and if it pushes back up, then I'm going to let that ride. Amazon with the gap down, very simple play. One line, one trend line on the price. You see, we lost that huge gap down after their mixed earnings. Now they're below the 200 EMA, 170, so I need to see some kind of uptrend reversal. Meta is actually one of the only stocks that survived. Meta and Lilly, Eli Lilly. Those are like the two ultimate stocks. So this is going to turn into Nvidia. Now, never say never that prices can't go higher. Prices can always go higher. So it has to break above what? 546. It needs to break down below where? 450. Consolidating to the side. Weekly still in the up cross. We bounced off of this 26 weekly EMA and trying to get back up into the overbought zone. It's not completely over because they had upside down head and shoulders on the daily chart. So now we have a technical setup, but it's a little late for that. So that this is the exact 10% target, 545. See if that hits soon. Tesla, only thing Tesla is, right here, you see the news on the bottom left, Tesla stops taking orders for cheapest Cybertruck. They're offering 100,000 version now, which I am not interested in myself, but it's testing what? Retest of neckline support. 618 bounce. See if this is going to be real. 618 bounce. Now, where's my target? Put some trend lines. Now we can see target is 205 and 220 still the target. We bounce off that 185. Got some value here below 200. Below that Bollinger Band. Now you can see just if you're an intraday trader, you know this setup. Bounce down. It wants to reject down, and then the shorts are going to battle out right at 195. So we could get a short squeeze in coming if this price holds above the 618. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching this long video. I try to incorporate more education and trade reviews throughout. In the future, I might put the trade reviews education at the end of the video or maybe do a separate video. So I'm just experimenting right now with new format. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and click like, subscribe, and let's have a good week. See you in the next video. Bye.